Least developed countries, or LDCs, are particularly vulnerable to impacts of climate change, given their dependence on natural resources. As these resources become increasingly unreliable, communities are threatened with water scarcity and food insecurity. To address these challenges, 6 LDCs initiated national projects in 2009 and 2010, which help vulnerable communities to adapt their agricultural and water management systems to climate impacts. These national initiatives, supported by the Global Environment Facility's Least Developed Countries Fund, or LDCF, are promoting resilient practices, strengthening related infrastructure, diversifying sources of livelihoods, and raising capacities of institutions. The projects also prioritize activities that support women as primary users of natural resources, who are particularly vulnerable to climate change impacts, while also holders of critical knowledge and drivers of change. In 2013, Canada and UNDP jointly established the Climate Change Adaptation Facility to scale up and expand the activities ongoing in the 6 national projects. These countries include Haiti, Cape Verde, Mali, Niger, Sudan, and Cambodia. The facility also documents common experiences and valuable lessons from across the 6 projects and promotes information exchange between countries. Here, we take a look at 2 countries from the facility, Cambodia and Sudan. Even with their distinct contexts, these 2 countries have applied similar approaches to produce valuable development results in the face of climate change. In Sudan, 46% of GDP comes from the agriculture sector, and more than 70% of the Sudanese population directly depends on climate-sensitive resources for their livelihood, particularly rain-fed agriculture. Recently, the country has seen increased variability of rainfall, together with its concentration within short growing seasons, and an overall reduction in quantities. This has heightened the vulnerability of Sudan's rain-fed agricultural systems to more frequent and intensive drought. In Cambodia, the agriculture sector forms the backbone of livelihoods for 60% of the rural population. Its agriculture is also characterized by high dependence of rain-fed systems, particularly for rice crops. The combination of high poverty levels and dependence on a single rice cropping cycle makes Cambodia highly vulnerable to climate change. Though these countries have distinct contexts, through the Climate Change Adaptation Facility, they are both aiming to address the same challenge: reducing the impact of climatic changes on the lives and livelihoods of rural farmers. Both countries have put in place small-scale irrigation systems with new water pumping and harvesting techniques. They have also introduced new crop varieties which are more resilient to the changing climate conditions. Resilient water management strategies in Sudan have led to substantial increases in productivity. Communities are doing water harvesting through terraces, earth bunds, and deep plowing in some states, and establishing pumps to support water-efficient irrigation of crops in others. Similarly, in Cambodia, water pumps have also been installed, along with drip irrigation systems which protect the crops and allow for greater productivity. These water management strategies, coupled with the resilient agricultural practices, have generated an impressive increase in yields in both countries. Incomes in Cambodia have increased 3 to 4 times due to diversification in rice-resilient seeds. With increased water availability, especially during the dry season, farmers are able to introduce new crops as well as adopt other income-generating activities such as livestock, aquaculture, and vegetable cultivation. In Sudan, irrigation systems have resulted in 317 hectares planted with different crops, a 20 to 60% increase in productivity. Other water harvesting solutions have led to an increased yield of 50 to 150%, benefiting 730 households in Gadaref and 420 households in South Darfur. The introduction of new cash crops have also increased the household incomes across all 4 states, with net profits ranging from $1,200 for cucumber planters in South Darfur to $4,400 for tomato growers in the River Nile. These economic benefits have produced multiplier effects beyond income generation. Enhanced water management systems in Cambodia allowed for water delivery directly to households, resulting in time savings on fetching water and health benefits from improved hygiene and nutrition. In Sudan, nutrition of communities in remote areas has improved thanks to the introduction of new crops and education of farmers. The households' diets have also been enhanced through newly improved milk production, poultry, and aquaculture. Both countries have been able to sustain these results through direct engagement and leadership of community members. In Cambodia, the project has supported communities and local authorities to formulate thematic user groups. For example, communities formed a collective group to sustainably manage water resources. In Sudan, regular meetings are held with village development committees to share progress updates, identify additional activities, and define next steps. In many cases, the community members themselves, and often women, are defining new practices based on their own knowledge and understanding of emerging needs. Women play a pivotal role in increasing the resilience of communities to climate change. In both countries, women are engaged in project design and implementation. They also directly benefit from project activities. For example, women participate in trainings on resilient agriculture approaches as both providers and recipients of new information. The use of sex disaggregated data collection and evaluation in Cambodia has also helped to clearly identify interlinkages between climate change and gender. It is clear that resilient approaches in both Cambodia and Sudan have produced successful results not only in strengthening agricultural and water management practices, but also in increasing productivity, raising income levels, and improving quality of life. The next phase of both projects, funded by the Government of Canada, will scale up these impacts to reach more households, address further needs defined by the communities, and replicate successes in other villages.